If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Get a load of this propaganda piece put out by Insider, which is a very popular website. You're noticing, and I'm noticing, I'm sure you are, more and more of these mainstream websites are now talking about conspiracy theories, obviously to deflect and make us all look crazy, but also as a way to clog Google, a way to clog any algorithm, Bing, you name it, so that these are the things that come up if anybody's researching, the Illuminati, any stuff pertaining to it. And of course, look at the title of this, and I'm going to go into detail about it because they talk about chemtrails and things like that. Republican voters are more likely to believe in Bigfoot and the Illuminati, while Democrat voters are more likely to believe in aliens. Now, of course, there's some truth to that, because it tends to, it seems to be from everything that we all see that they lump us in as Republicans because of our beliefs in Jesus Christ, our beliefs in a new world order, being built around us or already being in place. And of course, most of us who are awake are not believers in aliens and life on other planets. Look at some of these statistics that they're showing out there, which are pretty unbelievable in a sense, right? Because one of the things that we all know is true is chemtrails. And again, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I don't believe that there is a republic here in America. I say it every day. I just want to make sure, because people they don't even listen to my work. And they always lump me into to being like a Trump supporter and things like that. It says those believing in chemtrails tend to identify as liberal. Huh? Wait, so maybe like the most valid thing being discussed, which is the most obvious to see, at least in my opinion. I mean, chemtrail, you got to be really dumb to not see them spraying the skies, to not be able to identify chemtrail clouds over your head compared to actually real clouds, and how many blue sky days have been eliminated because they're chemtrailing the skies. But they're giving that credibility for that one to the liberals, while they say that Democratic voters were more likely than Republican voters to believe in extraterrestrials who visited Earth, and flat earthers are evenly distributed across the political aisle. So, I mean, they talk about all this stuff now. It's so funny how they're so afraid of conspiracy, and talking about it, because so many people have woken up that they have to silence people such as myself and other channels out there on YouTube. And, we certainly can't talk about any of the events that occur, any shootings or anything like that. And then all Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, Business Insider, the mainstream media, Fox News, they love talking about this stuff. It says conspiracy-minded Americans are known to point fingers at whoever is on the other side of the political spectrum. But when it comes to common unproven theories like Bigfoot, of course, right? I've been saying this forever on my channel. And if you believe in Bigfoot, I have no problem with that. I know there's people that believe Nephilim is the Bigfoot. Listen, my only issue with it is that they've created, the whole Bigfoot thing into like a laughing stock. Like what was the TV show with the Bigfoot living in the Harry and the Hendersons, I think, or something like that? The whole mindset of the Bigfoot, right? We see the Sasquatch and all these like Slim Jim type commercials now. And that's because it's an easy way to laugh at us and poke fun instead of talking about, okay, well, before you get into talking about Bigfoot, if you want to talk conspiracy, the first thing you shouldn't think of is aliens or Bigfoot. How about child trafficking? How about secret organizations, Freemasonry, those things? They never address that stuff, ever, right? Satanic ritual abuse, never address it because they pretend that doesn't exist. But when somebody hears conspiracy, the first thing they want them to think of is Bigfoot or aliens. And of course, like I said, with chemtrails, they think, well, the liberals believe in chemtrails. Huh? Show me a liberal who believes in chemtrails. They don't believe in any of this because they're the dumbest people on the planet. A new Insider poll found that respondents who said they'd vote in a Republican primary were more likely to believe in the Illuminati, and unclassified creatures such as Nessie and Bigfoot, while those who said they were Democratic voters were more likely to believe that the extraterrestrials visited the Earth. The poll asked over 1,000 respondents if any, which of the following unproven ideas, paranormal phenomenon, or general beliefs do you believe to be credible, allowing a survey takers to select from a list of 15 choices, including options like the existence of chemtrails, the efficiency of crystal healing, or none of the above. Nearly 1 in 5 survey taker. I mean, this stuff is so fake. Who are they surveying? I mean, I say this all the time. Have anyone ever been surveyed for any of this crap? They're like, oh, the polls say, 8 million Americans. Has anyone ever run into one of these Americans and they're like, hey, they came over and they polled me? Huh? I mean, maybe it's just me. But nearly 1 in 5 survey takers who plan, and that's because all of these surveys and things you hear are there to persuade people and manipulate them, because people who are more likely to be persuaded by, oh, this is the popular opinion, then I have to go with the popular opinion because nobody wants to be on the other side of that and look like an idiot, even though those are likely to be the smarter people who are on the opposite side. Again, nearly 1 in 5 survey takers who plan to vote in the Republican primary believe that unclassified organisms such as Bigfoot do exist, more than 5 percentage points higher than their Democratic counterparts. The same numbers held true for those who believe that the Illuminati, an alleged elite secret society of people who supposedly control the world, actually alter world events. 100% truth to that. You have to be naive not to think it. Democratic voters, on the other hand, clocked in higher for aliens. Of course they did, with 21% believing that aliens have come to Earth, a proportion that mirrors the general population, compared with 17% of Republican voters, which, they always link the alien thing to all conspiracy theorists, and a lot of us talk about aliens as far as being demons and demonic possession being real. It's funny, though, that the only thing that the liberals seem to actually believe, the people who classify themselves as liberals, is the existence of aliens. And they've never had any proof of it other than seeing movies like Independence Day, Star Wars, and Star Trek. And they're like, of course there is. There has to be. There's planets. I mean, I don't even need to get into it. You guys know how dumb these people are. Survey takers who self-reported as liberal are also more likely to believe in chemtrails. More than 22% of those polled who believe in chemtrails. The theory that the clouds of condensation behind airplanes contain chemical agents meant to control the public. See how they word that, right? Instead of just going, well, we'll tell you what is in these, they call them contrails. We'll tell you what's in the condensation behind the planes, because it's not condensation. It's, aluminum. It's all sorts of chemicals that are being sprayed and then just falling on us daily, right? How come some planes don't have chemtrails behind it and some do? But instead they have to word it like that to make it look ridiculous. The theory that the condensation behind airplanes contain chemical agents meant to control the public. Right? See how they word it? Meant to control the public. Some people roll their eyes. They're like, oh, yeah. And again, remember, they push pride on everyone. So everyone's too prideful to believe that their government would be doing something to them because they think they know all the answers, because they've been brainwashed in the public school system and they've been, patted on the back their whole lives, patted on their rear ends. It says identified as liberal, the 22% believe in chemtrails, identified as liberal to some degree, while only 17% of people who identified as conservatives were chemtrail truthers. It said people tend to adopt conspiracy theories that match with their existing worldview, according to a political scientist at the University of Miami. Conspiracy theories involving Democrats, for instance, are much more popular with Republicans and vice versa. When it comes to less partisan issues such as pseudoscience beliefs, polled by Insider, differences aren't quite as extreme. Least polarizing of all conspiracy theories, Insider found, was the flat earth theory, which, contrary to fact that the earth is a plane rather than a sphere, fewer than 3% of both Republicans and Democrats found the idea to be credible. Regardless of political affiliation, conspiracy theory discourse is on the rise, according to this professor, who has observed an increase in coverage by the media and politicians. Well, why do you think they're covering it all of a sudden? It's not because suddenly it's like, oh, it's a popular topic, let's talk about it. Because more and more people are seeing stuff and they're going, there's some BS going on here. And then they start researching it. So now they want to make sure that the mainstream media is covering conspiracy theories. And I'm sure they're going to even throw bones out there. They'll be like, oh, they did find that stuff in the chemtrails, is true. And now the government's going to fix it so it doesn't happen again. And of course, they're going to continue to spray us. Right? But the mainstream media doesn't want to do this because of how popular, conspiracy theories are becoming, or at least listening to it because people are interested. It's because they want to put out as much false information. They want to put out as much stereotypes as they possibly can. And they want to make sure that they bury channels like this and people like me so that they can talk about Bigfoot and convince people that aliens and stuff are real. So this is Business Insider, just Insider, but this is a very large publication that I've noticed the last 2 weeks is putting out more and more propaganda about conspiracy theories. And they're like, it's classify. If you believe in chemtrails, it's almost like the way they classify political parties, right? If you're pro-abortion, you would be a liberal. Right now they're going, well, if you believe in chemtrails, you're probably a liberal. Like, what? It's insanity. But this is the world that we live in, folks. So they're continuing to try to pollute and dilute conspiracy theories with nonsense like this. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.